Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel and Coders, where you will get information related to data science. I am your guide Nitin Kantpal, an aspiring data scientist at Vijay Robotics. So now friends, in this today's video, we will be getting to know about statement, expression and comment. So without wasting any further time, let's start the video. So now let's start with comments. Well, in Python, comments are used to add notes or explanation to your code. They are ignored by the Python interpreter, meaning they don't affect the execution of your program. Well, in simple words, comments are just an extra knowledge which we add to our code and they are ignored by the Python interpreter, so they don't affect anything in our program, right? So we just have to write, for example, if we write a comment, then Python will just ignore it, but for the coder part, the programmer, they can get the extra knowledge about their program with the help of comment. Here's a detailed explanation. Well, there are types of comments. There are two types basically, single line and multi-line. Well, the name suggests, well, single line means it will start with a hash symbol followed by the comment text. Everything on the line after the hash is considered a comment. So it means if you write a hash symbol and then write anything, then it will be a comment. But remember, it's a single line. So after the next line, you have to again use hash to make that next line also a comment. Otherwise, it will just only make that single line a comment where we use that hash symbol. Here is an example, right? If I use hash, then this is a single line comment, right? Then we got multi-line comments. Python doesn't have a specific syntax for multi-line comments actually. Instead, we use, triple quotes, either single triple quotes or double triple quotes, right, to create a string literal that spans multiple lines. This can be used as a comment if not assigned to a variable. The last line here, this can be used as a comment if not assigned to a variable. This line means that if you use a triple quote, then if you don't assign to it a variable, then it's just a simple multi-line comment. Otherwise, if you assign it to a variable, then it will just a string, basic string. Here is an example of this multi-line. You have to use triple quote, either single or double. Then this is a multi-line comment spanning multiple lines. Then you have to close that same with the same quotation, either double quote or triple quote. These are some basic practices of these comments. Well, first is comments help us to explain the code. Well, comments should clarify complex logic, explain variables or provide context. If you use in a program, then comments are just a way to express your program code, right? So it also helps us in many things like comments, clarify complex logic, explain variables or provide context about why we are doing this in the program, right? Keep comment concise. Avoid lengthy comments, right? And aim for a few words or short sentences. Comment should be very concise or one-liner thing, right? You can understand by single words or something like that. It should not be a detailed explanation, just a way to give a basic context about that thing. Use comments consistently. Choose a style, single line or multi-line comment, and stick to it throughout your code. Well, it means that if you are using single line comment, then use it to the entire code. Otherwise, it will not look very presentable to your client, right? Next, we got don't comment obvious codes. Well, some things are like print function. If you are just gonna explain that print function, then it will be very obvious and common sense thing, which will not be a great impression to your client, right? Then update comments when code changes. As you know, if you are starting a comment, then if you do a lot of changes to your program or code, then you gotta have to change the comment also to make it more suitable for that program, right? Then we got benefits. There are three benefits: code readability, debugging and collaboration. Comments make your code more understandable for others, which is true, right? As if you not compare comments with this Python, in Instagram or Facebook, when we post a story or something like that, then if someone comments on it, we know like the detailed thing or any better explanation, right? Like about how this picture is looking or how it is very impactful, right? Then debugging, comments can help identify issues or explain workarounds, right? Then collaborations, comments facilitate teamwork by providing context and explanation. By this, I mean when you are working in a team, everyone has a different part or to do it in the program, right? Someone will do 20%, someone will do 30%, then other one will do 50%. Now, if the first person is doing 20%, then he will transfer the code to 30% work, right? So now he should apply some comments so that it would be more appropriate, so that other can understand what is happening in the code and what I have to do and what he has done to the code, right? Then we got, remember one thing, comments are for humans, not for the Python interpreter. So we use these comments to make our code more readable, maintainable and collaborative, right? Now moving on to another thing, which is expressions. Well, expressions are just a combination of values, variables and operators and function, right? Which helps us to get a single value or result, right? Expressions are the building block for statements. So that's why we are learning about expression before statement, right? And they are used to perform various operations such as arithmetic operations and then comparison, logical and assignment also. We got 7 types of expressions: literal, variable, arithmetic, comparison, logical, function and attribute, right? Literal variables, well, this represent fixed values such as numbers, 42, etc., strings like hello, or booleans, true or false, right? Then we got variable expressions. Use variable to reference values, right? For example, x or like my variable. Then we got arithmetic expression, which is 2 plus 3, 3 plus 4, 4 into 5, something like this. Then comparison, we know like comparison operator, equals to, not equal to, greater than, less than, etc., etc., right? Then we got logical expressions. Well, we know logical operators, right? And, or and not, right? Function calls, invoke function with arguments. When, like for example, print here, print hello, or this function math dot square root of 16, right? These are known as function calls. And then attribute access. Well, access object attributes or methods. For example, here I created an object, then apply its method or attribute, then it is known as attribute access. This is also a type of expression. Now operators here, 4 type of operator, we know already about them in detail. If you don't know, then click on the link below in the description, then you will know about these operators in detail, right? As we have already covered them in our previous videos. Then we got evaluation, operator precedence. Python follows a specific order of operator precedence, right? Which is PEDMAS or BODMAS, right? Then we got left to right evaluation. Well, remember this one thing, which is very simple, that in the program code, Python always interprets from top to bottom and left to right. So if it's in the first line, then it will complete from left to right, then it will go to the next line, right? Now best practices of this expression is keep expression simple, avoid complex expression, break them down into smaller ones, right? As we know, we can always do complex equations and everything, right? So if we use a simple expression, then it will be much better to use it, and it will be much understandable for us. Use meaningful variable names. Always use meaningful variable name. Like for example, if you are making a program related to contact list, right, then create variables related to contact. For example, contact name, contact number, ID, age, right? Don't use x equal to, then apply some contact name, right? Then it will not be very valuable. If you use x equal to, then apply any name for it, like x equal to Nitin, then it will not be very meaningful, as what will you understand by the variable x, right? But if I write contact one underscore name, then I assign the value Nitin, then it will be very meaningful that you can know, yeah, it is applying to the contact one name, which is Nitin, right? Then follow operator precedence. Always remember to follow operator precedence. By mastering Python expression, you will be able to write efficient, readable and effective code. So this expression is a very important fundamental for writing your program codes, right? As if you can master this expression, then your code will look so majestic, so beautiful that you will be like, wow. Now moving on to a last but not the least fundamental for our Python program, which is statement. Well, as we remember expression is just a part of statement. So when we combine expressions and use it efficiently, then it is known as statement. This is the basic definition for it. Now let's go through a technical definition. In Python, a statement is a single line of code that performs a specific action such as assigning a value to a variable, printing output, or controlling the flow of a program. Statements are the building block of Python program and they are executed sequentially by the Python interpreter. Here is a detailed explanation. Types of statement, there are 7 types of statement. Assignment statement. Here we can see we are assigning a value to a variable which is x equal to 5 or my variable equal to hello, right? Then we got a print statement, which is output text or values to a screen which is print hello. Then we will get the answer as hello, right, in the output. Import statements. Well, import statement is used to load modules or packages. Well, modules and packages we will know in the upcoming videos what are them and how to import them and which are the best modules for our data science, right? For example, here we got import math. Well, math is a module here which has a lot of codes about square root, pi and things which you don't have to create for the program. You just have to import math and then you can perform all the operation of math, right, like square root and etc. Or you can simply also import, like from math import square root. You can also import specific things from that module also. Then we got control flow statements which regulate the flow of a program, if, for, while or break, etc. Then we got function definitions. Define reusable block of codes, which is a function, right? And then we got class definition, define custom data types. Then we got expression statements. Evaluate expression without assigning them to a variable. For example, 2 plus 3, we can simply get the answer as 5, right? Or print hello, we get the answer as hello, right? Now statement syntax. Simple statements, which is single line statement, x equal to 5, example, right? Then we got compound statements where multiple statements group together. For example, if statements or a for loop, right? What is for loop and if statement we will know in the later videos when we will discuss about control flow statements, right? Then we got suite statements, which is group of statements indented under a control flow statement, which is if or for blocks, just like before. Well, suite statements, group of statements indented. There's a word indented. Indented means 4 spaces, and I will make a video about indentation, which is very, very important in our Python program, as a little space will make you give an error if you don't know how indentation works. And indentation is very important so that you can understand loops, functions and class, right? Then we got execution. Well, sequential execution, statements are executed one after the another, right? As simple. Then conditional executions, statements are executed based on conditions. Well, if you apply a condition, like it will only execute when the condition will be true. Then we got repetitive execution. Statements are executed repeatedly, like for loop. If you apply the loop for the 5 times, then it will repeat it 5 times, then the statement will be over. Now best practices, keep statements simple. If you keep your statement simple, then it will be much easier to code your program. Avoid complex statements, like it will only confuse your head and then boom. Then break down them into smaller ones. Like if you are making a statement, then break it down so that you could do the coding easily. Then use meaningful variable name. As I always mention, use meaningful variable name, as it is very, very helpful if you use variable name which is meaningful. Then follow PEP 8 style guide, which is Python's official style guide for consistent coding formatting, right? Then by understanding Python statements, you will be able to write effective, readable and efficient code, which is also true. If you mastered Python statements, expression and comments, then your programming will be much better, and you will be able to represent your code to your client and anyone beautifully, as comments help us to make them more understandable. And if you know how to write code efficiently, like expression and statement, then it will also look so neat and clean that it will be majestic. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you understand what are statement, expression and comments in Python. Till then we meet again. Like this video, share this video with your friends and family, subscribe to my channel if you are new, comment if you get any doubt. Till then we meet again. Peace out.